Hello everybody, welcome back. I am Orange Galen, and today I'm going to be watching Frieren episode 2. So, last time the episode went up and I had to do a second edit of it to get it up on YouTube. So hopefully this goes a little bit better, but self-plug for future Patreon. I don't have it up yet, but you'll be able to watch the unedited, mostly unedited versions of all these episodes. So when I eventually get that up, go check that out. However, hopefully it was somewhat watchable on YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed. So I'm continuing on with the series. I am hooked so far. What's that thing? The 3-episode test? I don't think I'll need that, but for this, I do like how they're developing more of the kind of like the in-depth behind the scenes thing for kind of like behind the fantasy genres, you know, where they explore a little bit more into it, because a lot of shows only have like surface level stuff and they don't really go into depth about like the fantasy elements of things or what goes on behind it. And I like how they're doing that with Frieren so far with her character. Still don't have too much world building going on, but right now it's still building up kind of like her character, and then obviously the other characters that we have still alive, and B, we are going to get introduced to you, because I know Fern is a big character, the purple-haired girl at this point. So I wonder how she's going to develop later on, because Frieren has a habit of disappearing for years and then coming back, and I assume that's what's going to happen with the book translation. She's going to get confused or like get caught up in time and then come back, and Himmel is going to be dead, and then Fern's already grown up. So we'll see. Anyway, I don't know why. Right now I feel a little bit scatterbrained talking about it. I started off kind of on a weird note, but we'll stick with it. Hopefully people are still listening to me right now. But yeah, still interested in Frieren so far. Side note, I try to avoid saying interesting because a lot of other reactors say that too often, so I try to use that brain thesaurus of mine to come up with new words anyway. But yeah, at this point, interested is a fine enough word. I want to see where it goes, because I really don't know much of the plot other than like Frieren gets caught up in mimics and Fern grows up, basically. That's all I know, basically, aside from like one or two of the memes. Animation and music are amazing. Animation, I talked about it a little bit before, but it's a stylistic choice of not having a lot of like shading or intricate details on characters, like their faces. I noticed a lot of it doesn't have too much shading on it, and that's kind of like budgetary cost in order to get like everything else animated, you know? There has to be that balance, and they're lowering it on the faces kind of, but raising it up for everything else, you know? And the music, oh gosh, the music is incredible so far. It's that orchestral part and like the violins, you know? The violins really sell it, or like the singular violin in pieces, you know? So that really hooks me. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So hopefully you get more of that, obviously. And yeah, don't really have anything else to talk about at the moment, so let's get into the episode. Yeah, the intro for the previous episode like immediately got caught in the copyright filter, you know? So probably a lot of this is getting cut out or muted. So that's just how it is to get this onto YouTube. Same thing with the outro music or the ending music. Of course, I also edit these so that it's obviously not me just reposting the episode. So I post these with the knowledge or with the intent of people having already watched the show and then watching my reaction to it. 3 key factors. But yeah, like I was saying, I post these with the intent that people have already watched the show, so they don't need to see every single little bit of it. Very quiet. Where's my notes? I need to get my notes out again. Like halfway through the episode, I was like, oh wait, I need to get my notes, so... Fishing. I think another reason why she's so withdrawn is because, like Himmel said, she's a war orphan, so she kind of has that trauma, probably. A little snowman there. And then boom. I like this time passage bit of it. Still looks fit for how old he is. I like it when serious characters like that have goofy faces. Now he's sunbathing himself. Picking out the... That should get buried in the books there. Picking out the greens. This is a good way to get the time passage. I'm still practicing with magic. Bird. 4 years have gone by. Not a good thing.
それでも一人前になるのはまだ先のことだ。魔導書の解読の方が早く終わるよ。そうですか。この魔導書だけど多分。
Oh, and there he goes.
Heiter?
That's her reaction? Just, huh? Why are you on the ground? Pick yourself up. What kind of reaction was that, Frieren? Still trying to blast apart that. I like the sound effect for that.
Fern, 修行は中止だ。まだ一番いいは打ち抜けておりません。それはいずれ必ずできることだ。今はいずれではダメなのです。
Okay, so now we're gonna get a little bit of her driving force. Ah, she wants to prove herself before he dies, then. Of course, the purple haired. Oof. Oh, is she gonna try to jump off? Yeah. Talking about Himmel, right? He still has a drink there.
困っている人を決して見捨てないような人間でした。私は彼とは違うので、ある時ふと気がついてしまいまして、私がこのまま死んだら、彼から学んだ勇気や意志や友情や大切な思い出まで、この世。
He kind of wants someone to pass on his knowledge. Then I mentioned it before, but we have the legacy. Oh, he knew them then. Getting a lot of human interaction here, or like human thought processes here. Heiter wanted to kind of like someone wanted to like pass knowledge on, not an apprentice, and not kind of like a protege almost, but birds. I said that before. And then you have Fern wanting to repay the person that saved her without realizing that she doesn't really need to, that he was doing it for himself, you know? Music. Music. Yeah. Unless he was too old to do it himself, but... I have a feeling that he just wanted Frieren to stick around long enough to train her up and then have Frieren actually. Yep, there we go. Long-term plan. Come on, say it. Say it one more time, you corrupt priest.
今夜にはここを立ってください。あの子にこれ以上誰かを失うような経験をさせたくないのです。フリーレン、フェルンを頼みましたよ。
また格好。ハイター。フェルンはとっくに別れやるべきことはあの子に告げて。
Now she under.
たくさんの思い出を作ってやることだ。
Now she understands again. She still needs a step stool.
ねえ、なんでフェルンを救ったの？
勇者ヒンメルならそうしました。
そうだね。
Even now, the a wild Frieren appeared. And there you go.
そうするとするか。
Got the hole in the rock. And it's a nice, perfect. Not perfect, but.
ありがとうございました。おかげでハイター様に恩を返すことができました。私はただしてやられただけだよ。この生臭坊主に。
There it is. The Turk region located in the Central Lands 26 years after.
終わりだ。
こちらは約束の報酬です。
地味な仕事ばかりでございますね。冒険者なんてこんなものだよ。この前は銅像の錆をきれいに取る魔法。それまた前は甘いブドウを酸っぱいブドウに変える魔法。変な魔法ばかり集めていますね。趣味だからね。本当に魔法がお好きなのですね。ほどほどだよ。フェルンと同じで。少し違うような気がします。同じだよ。
Maybe.
私は薬草家だから教えられそうな魔法。
So, gonna teach them like magical plants or like getting potion brews. Is this another statue of Himmel?
年寄り一人ではもうどうしようもなくてね。村の人たちはもう関心がないのよ。
And of course, Frieren. Oh, so she's. Oh. Oh, I like that. And then Himmel comes in and saves her, right? Yeah.
ヒンメル様は村が魔物に襲われた時必死に戦ってくれたのに。
And you have another aspect of
自業自得だね。形たがり屋のヒンメルが悪い。
show off.
大丈夫？
ポーズに18時間悩んで職人さんブチギレさせるし。
不思議なこと言うのね。そういえば勇者様ご一行にはエルフの魔法使いがいたわね。
じゃあ片付けようか。
魔法ってすごいのね。
Frieren has a proud smile. They even cleared out the clearing.
魔法使えましたよね。そうだね。
Oh yeah, we saw that.
適当な花でも。いや、草月草の花がいいか。ヒンメルの故郷の花だ。でも見たことない花は魔法では。
Oh, guess it's time to go there then.
草月草。
Oh, okay, they just asked her.
ね。昔はあの森の奥にも群生地があったんだけれどもね。
ここら辺にはもうないの？
この大陸での目撃例はもう何十年もないわ。
そう。
Well, what I was going to say earlier is you have the other aspect of humanity where we, she stole the seeds for the squirrels. She likes animals.
怒らないから見せなさい。
Oh, she took the, she took the squirrels instead. Oh, learning. Okay.
じゃあフェルン、草月草を探しに行こ
Anyway,
うか。
yeah, you have the other aspect of humanity where we forget far too easily about stuff that has happened.
実物を見つけて分析すれば、草月草の花を咲かせる魔法が手に入る。ヒンメル様のためですか？いや、きっと自分のためだ。
Ooh, haha. I like how they're doing the show not tell thing where she's good with animals, because we had the birds on her earlier, then you had the squirrels, and now you have that turtle thing. Ah. Again, the music.
もう半年になりますね。そうだね。
Yeah, are we also going to get into like a stubborn aspect of Frieren here?
一人だなんて珍しいわね。
見つかると思いますか？フリーレン様の魔法に対する執着は異常です。このままでは何年でも何十年でも探し続けてしまう。
Okay, so it's not just Frieren being Frieren, it's her elvenness coming into play where she doesn't
時間を使うだなんて。
kind of understand the passage of time again.
若いわね。
私の考えは。
I like this recurring theme.
そうは思わないわ。フリーレンさんにとっては違うのでしょうね。と大人だから。
Are those the seeds?
素直に伝えれば。
薬効があるため保管されていた禁煙種の種だそうです。私一人の時間ってわけでもない。潮時だ。もう少し探したら切り上げるよ。もう少しって何年ですか？もう少しだよ。あなたは本当に諦めが。
Oh. Oh, and there goes the... Oh, follow the squirrels. Little magic site. I'm getting myself lost in the visuals and like just the feeling of this. That's just how you know it's a good anime. I'm just watching and not commenting. I'm just immersed now. And I have to like break myself out of it just to comment on it, just to have something, you know? Gonna store the church here. Oh no, just have the flowers. Even the dwarf is... Eisen is having fun. Gross. Up there's the flower crown. Flower crown from the opening is what I'm talking about. Sometimes silly is all you need. And there's a flower petal. Is that at the top of the tower? Okay, seed rats. I've been saying squirrels, but yeah. They're essentially squirrels.
何箇所にも埋めるからよく埋めた場所を忘れるんだ。
僕の故郷の花でね。まあ、僕ほどではないんだけどね。
そろそろ行こうか。
いつか君に見せてあげたい。
そう、機会があればね。遅くなったね。
Yeah. I also like how this is almost, you could say this is a metaphor for nature healing or like rare species.
見つけてしまうだなんて
She can fly too, or levitate.
なんでそんなに魔法に一生懸命に
So does the spell actually create flowers, or does it is just like a temporary
こ
thing?
とを諦めなかった私は一人で生きていける力さえ手に入れば何でもよかったのです別に魔法じゃなくたってでも魔法を選んだそうですね
蒼月草が見られるなんてね。これならきっとこの像も忘れられずに済むわ。
忘れるところだったよし
Flower crown.
あら、可愛らしい。
それじゃあ行こうか
Yeah, the squirrel there already. Yeah, another thing is that this song was all copyrighted.
そんなの強すぎるじゃないですか
Elder stage of corruption.
じゃあ
何年
応
一緒に
用と行こう
旅をしている
かこの
と思うんで
旅がとて
すけどね。
も大事だから敵はあるんですか人を殺す魔法だよ
Killing magic. Okay. That's another interesting title. Is everything, or is every episode name going to be after like magic or something like that, or is that just for the first couple? Because apparently like the first 4 episodes were supposed to release together as kind of like a movie-esque thing, but they just separated it because I have Star Wars on the mind, kind of like the Clone Wars movie where it was supposed to be like episodes, but then they got smushed together into a movie. Yeah, again, this show is just, it's an experience. That's the best way I could put it, where it's not something to be consumed, it's supposed to be experienced. It has that like feeling, like all the stuff in it just perfectly melds together so far to create the experience of the episode. You have the music, the visuals, the scenery, the voice acting, like the characters, like basically all of it just kind of melds together into something that just is an experience to watch. That's again, the thesaurus in my head is not working for me, but that's how it is. It's not like a watch and forget thing. It sticks with you, or it leaves you feeling something, and that's the best aspect of shows. That's when the show works, is when it leaves you feeling something. So yeah, we had Heiter, a lot of H names in here. I say a lot as in 2 is a lot. We have Heiter. Essentially, I think I was thinking it, or might have mentioned it in the previous episode, but he eventually tricked Frieren to train Fern and take her with him, or her. Gosh, my pronouns are getting confused, and that's not, anyway. But a long-term plan in order to have Fern basically have somebody after he's gone, because he knew he didn't have as much time as he would like, or to help Fern, you know? So, and I also like Frieren calling him out on, don't just make us leave, have an ending, like get to say goodbye while you still can say goodbye. I like that, where she flat out calls him out on that. So it's what happens when you're friends with somebody. You can call each other out on things, you know, on each other's bullshit. Especially after spending like 6 years living together like that. And then Fern is growing up to be a good mage there. She finally got that hole in the rock. And like I said, it's like a perfect like circular thing, not like the rock was destroyed. It's just a blast through the rock. I like that. Yeah, and then you have those blue weed, or like, what do they call them? Blue moon weed. That's what the flower is. And I asked it before, but I wonder if her flower conjuring or whatever is to actually make living flowers, like flowers, or just kind of like temporary things, you know, that look like it, you know? Like, does it actually create them, or does it just create something that looks like them? Yeah, and then you have more Frieren kind of experiencing human things. course, I might be looking a little too much into it of Frieren just experiencing human stuff. Like, you could say it's just universal things almost. Like, the universal need to suddenly realize that your time is coming and then want to leave the world a better place or make someone else's life better, you know? Or look after something, have a legacy. That's kind of what I was trying to get at, where he wanted Himmel, or Heiter wanted a semi-legacy with Fern, or to have somebody remember him after, aside from Frieren, you know, or Isel. Fern and Isel haven't met yet. That'll be an interesting meeting there. I could only assume that Isel doesn't know about Fern, and that would be an interesting meeting. It was like, Heiter did that? That doesn't sound like him. Or it's like, wow, he really changed. Yeah, just really like Frieren so far. It's just an experience. So, yeah, I'll leave it here. Before this, I was recording a gate, and my throat is sore, so I can feel my throat starting to get aggravated. I don't spend a lot of time talking nowadays, or like just talking straight, so it's my throat is getting sore, so I'm gonna be cutting it off here. So this has been Orange Galen. Hope you enjoyed the second episode of Frieren, and hopefully this goes up somehow on YouTube. Again, self-plug for the future Patreon. You'll see the full unedited, mostly unedited version of this. Basically, it's just me cleaning up some of the stuff and editing out me yapping or just the weird silences I have. But yeah, this has been Orange Galen. Like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Gate gets updated on Thursdays, Frieren Fridays, and eventually Fairy Tale, if that ever comes back again, will be on Saturdays. So, I shall see you all later.